we're going to start by knitting 2 stitches. So again, don't forget with this first row, you want to make sure you're not pulling your needles too far apart. If you pull them much further than this, you're going to get a weird little gappy bit between your stitches. So you really want to work your first row as close to the tips as you can. It doesn't matter so much when you're working the rest of your rows, but that first row, it's really important because you don't want to ruin your nice, neat cast on edge. Okay, so now I've knitted my first 2 stitches. I'm going to bring the yarn between those 2 needles, just straight across like that. Make sure you don't go underneath. Very tempting, it seems a lot easier, and it doesn't make much of a difference on this row, but if you keep doing that, you're going to get weird bunched up sections in your knitting that just won't look right. So you're always moving over your yarn, but between your needles, so straight through there. And now it's at the front, we can purl our next 2 stitches. So we're starting with 2 knit stitches, then working 2 purl stitches, and then we're going to go back to 2 knits. So basically we're alternating 2 knit stitches and 2 purl stitches along this row. So I'm moving the yarn to the back again, ready to work my knit stitches. Again, going over the yarn in the middle, but between the 2 needles. And then we're going to knit 2 stitches. Bring the yarn to the front and purl 2 stitches. Bring the yarn back round to the back and knit 2 stitches. Move the yarn, purl 2. So it's exactly what we've been doing before. The only difference is instead of knitting 1, moving the yarn, purling 1, we're just knitting 2, moving the yarn, purling 2, moving the yarn. So it's just every other stitch we're moving. You might not see much of a rib pattern starting yet, but once you've got a couple of rows in, it should become a bit more apparent. So hopefully your stitches should be looking something like this. Now, if you're not sure whether you've knitted or purled, it is a little trickier to tell on this first row. So the purls have these horizontal bumps nestled right under the needle, whereas the knits, they do still have bumps from the cast on row, but they're settled down a little bit further away. Alternatively, you can just count from the beginning because you know you've got 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits. So my next one will be a purl.